Hey guys, we are at Universal Studios Hollywood for the next in our series of Haunt Fix videos. Our Haunt Fix series this year, we're doing about 6 episodes of this weekly. And the idea is where do we find a little bit of Halloween as we're making our way around Southern California during the off season when Halloween can be tough to find, when the spooky stuff, we know we have a lot of people that follow along with us that are super into the Halloween scene. We are included in that. And as much as we love all the conventions, theme parks, love spring, summer events, shows, all of that, we still are always on the hunt for some spooky. So today we're gonna look for some spooky here, some things that remind us of horror nights. And if you're a fan of horror nights, I don't know, I can't imagine anybody being a fan of horror nights and not coming by the Parisian Courtyard and always thinking about that. Doesn't matter what time of year it is. When the parks reopened during the Taste Scene events, it was the first place to kind of made our way over here and said, okay, what's it look like? What's going on? And right now as we're filming this, it's still during the Grinchmas season here, so you can see it's a different look. But we think about things like seeing Michael Myers in there, and you know, this last season, The Bride, and all the wonderful stuff that was over in this general area, and we just love it. And so with that said, let's look around Universal Studios, and we'll share some of those places we find some of that Haunt Fix. Share in the comments, let us know places you find Haunt Fixes that maybe we miss here or in our other videos in this series. So let's look around. So unfortunately, no construction wall up here, no haunt build. We know it, it's that time of year, right? But it won't be that far off as we come to summer 2022 that we will see it, I'm sure. And in this location, it'll be filled with some fun, spooky scares. But even beyond the mazes that are over here, I mean, just the area itself. You know, this is the area where, in general, it just feels a little bit of that spooky vibe all year round. Sometimes we'll sit over here and talk about horror nights past, favorite mazes, scare zones, all of that type of stuff. And maybe on the exterior, we'll see Frankenstein's monster or Dracula wandering around as well. There's no better fix for the haunt for us than seeing the monster or Dracula wandering around. You can't find monsters wandering the park many places in the world, or at least in our world. Obviously over here, Walking Dead, always get a little bit of that Halloween vibe. You know, it wasn't the greatest attraction ever, but did kind of enjoy having access to something Halloween year round. All right, next up on our Haunt Fix journey, of course, the studio tour. I mean, is there any spot at Universal Studios Hollywood that doesn't scream Halloween and haunt, horror nights, all of that more during the regular season, or even as we're here filming some of this in the Christmas season? It's one of our favorite parts. Terror Tram, I know some people don't love it. We love it just because I love getting out and walking around the Bates Motel. If that's all it was, just to went down there. So with that said, let's hit the tour.
These posters on either side of the tram that represent just some of the thousands of films Universal has released over the years. Now at the top right of the timeline, you may have seen a poster for Damon and Pythias, who is a name on top. Son Ed Helms and Gina Schmiede, which films on our backlog. Now on your left-hand side, we're about to pass by Bungalow 5195, which at one point belonged to director Alfred Hitchcock, when he's making a TV series, Alfred Hitchcock Presents, but now it's home to the De Laurentiis Company to help bring Dr. Hannibal Lecter to the big and small screen. You might know as Bates Motel from the Psycho films. Third Psycho film. But as we head on up the hill here, you can see on your right-hand side at the top of the hill, that is the original Psycho house, and here it is on your screen, folks. So we are going to see on your left-hand side the original Psycho house.
All right, the Starway is another thing. It always reminds us of Horror Night. Obviously, the fact that you are taking it down and getting the dialogue played, it's kind of just this fun little piece of the event and the long journey down to the lower lot. Also, like with the tastings and stuff, the first place we came as we were making our way down the Starway was to come over and see what kind of build you could see from up here. And so that's always a fun part as well of the event. And we always think about, as we look down here on Mummy, it's like, okay, what kind of build can we see? And obviously, being far in the off season, nothing there, but this is going to be one of those spots everybody's going to be flocking to as you get to that May, June, July, August, all that, and see what's being built there. Can we see anything else being built for Horror Nights? And it just kind of gives us that little Halloween feel all year long. All right, next up we are going to head inside Production Central. Again, they always have merchandise that seems to link back to the monsters, so it's, again, one of those spots. I mean, I don't think a trip to Universal Studios Hollywood happens without us checking out Production Central and seeing if we can find some monsters in there. So let's take a look. All right, when it comes to Universal Studios, City Walk, all of that for our Haunt Fix, Things from Another World is always a stop for us. I mean, it's a stop beyond the Halloween side of things, the spooky side of things. Love the store. I mean, it's pricey, so honestly, it ends up being a kind of museum stop a lot of times for us, where we look but don't necessarily buy a whole lot there, but buy a few things here and there. But anyway, they always have some fun monster stuff, and they're particularly Universal monsters to check out. So always a stop for us when we're looking for a little bit of a spooky fix. So let's take a look. All right, so what did I miss? What gives you that haunt feel at Universal Studios Hollywood? I'm sure you've got a list. Go ahead and throw it in the comments. Let us know. We had a great time out here getting a little bit of that Halloween feel again, that spooky feel. We're looking for it all year round, and it's always fun coming to Universal Studios and finding it, because I think more than any other place, they really celebrate that side of things year round. You got to look for it, obviously. You're not going to find it everywhere. And there's things I know like Jurassic, Jaws, all of that can give people that, you know, Halloween vibe, if we want to call it that, or horror vibe. But it doesn't quite as much for us. I think I associate those with other things. But everything we listed here, hopefully some of those give you some maybe new fixes if you've not experienced them before the next time you come out to Universal Studios. So with that said, we are going to wrap up this episode. We will be back next week with another episode in our Haunt Fix series. Please like, subscribe, and let people know what we do if you're interested. Until next time, see you online somewhere.